anyway, I would like to say that our thoughts and prayers are with people in Florida, specifically Georgia, going through the trying to recover from the hurricane. You see a lot of great things on the news about people going down there to help, and just makes you feel good about the type of people that we do have in this country. Our team has been praying about those hurricanes, and we're thankful that it did spare us, but those people are in our thoughts and prayers. It has been a unique open date. The plan was we were going to practice 3 days, which we got in, and then we thought we were leaving early because of the weather, and we were ready to go, and then it changed on us on a Friday afternoon. And so then we were able to stay here because the campus did not close. And so we got basically have had a normal week so far. We practiced Sunday night. The kids have been out of class on Monday and Tuesday, and we gave them off Monday, and then had a practice last night. Let them sleep in a little bit on Tuesday, and then actually just get off the practice field this morning. So not a typical bye week by any means, but I think our young people handled the you mentioned one I mentioned earlier, adapting and adjusting. They've done a good job of adapting to the schedule, and I'm looking forward to this game Saturday.
Kind of going off that, how would you assess the bye week in week 2? Maybe doesn't give you guys a chance to build off the momentum from week 1, but maybe a chance to maybe prepare more for UAB.
Yeah, I do think it hurts some of your momentum. Typically, now whether it's true or not, most coaches will tell you there's a tons of improvement from 1 to 2, week 1 to week 2, which there is just because you're playing another game and guys that are the first time. And so you'd love to play one that way, but I do think it does give us another opportunity to get better in a lot of areas that we struggled with and work on those things. If you had a game here and it was going to be a home game, it probably got canceled anyway, so it sort of worked out. So, I don't like having them early, but we tried to take advantage the best we could.
Coach, when you look at UAB on film, your assessment of what they bring to the table and kind of the challenges you'll face this weekend?
Well, I think first of all, they're very athletic. I think that they're going to be a lot more athletic than what we saw versus UMass. What's interesting, they just bring their program back, but if you look through their depth chart and their starters, they got a lot of junior and senior starters. So they've got a lot of junior college transfers. They've got a lot of guys that were left over there that stayed. So they got an older team, a lot older than us, which I wouldn't have thought after just thinking they're bringing the program back. I do think they try to be a physical football team. Offensively, they're going to try to snap the ball as fast as they can, and we got to make sure defensively lined up, and then they try to do a lot of multiple things on defense, different fronts. I think Rodney mentioned earlier we were practicing different things. They do a lot of different things to try to mess you up. And so I do think the athleticism will be a big difference for us that we'll have to get used to. But I do like our matchup overall.
Coach, what do you think of the situation with them losing football and now bringing it back? What's that bring to the table for you guys as a staff?
I don't know if it brings much. I was actually part of a program in 2003 that dropped it when I was at East Tennessee State, so I know what they went through. And for them to be able to bring it back and bring it back the way they have, it looks like they've totally committed to what they're doing. I think that's a great thing for them. We've not brought it up much. I do know, that they're everybody wants them to be successful because they dropped it and brought it back, so they're probably I don't say America's darling, but a lot of people want them to do well nationally because it's a great story, and so I hope they do as well, just not Saturday.
There you go. Osh, big week, offensive line, running game, big week, week 1. Kind of your takeaway from that, and Osh being the player of the week for week 1.
Well, I thought that was well deserved for him. He had a nice game as far as. Did a lot of things for us and really ran through some tackles. I thought that was what he did better than anybody. When guys were there to tackle, he made the guys miss. Thought our offensive line did a nice job of opening up some holes. We've got to continue to develop, throwing game-wise. I thought we had opportunities at some plays in the throw game to really put the game away. We didn't do it. And so those are the ones that you want to work on. I'm smart enough to realize we probably could have thrown the ball more there, or we didn't need to. So why do something when you don't need to do it? That was sort of my after seeing how the game was flowing there, especially there towards the end. But we need to improve where we're not one-dimensional, and I don't think we will be. But more and more people are going to try to do some things up front to us to disguise and stack the box. We got to be able to make them pay on the perimeter if we're going to be successful going forward when we play better and better teams like we are this Saturday.
Coach, you said you were going to evaluate the quarterback situation after game 1, look at the film, and kind of go back and revisit that. So did anything change with regards to that? Tyler still the guy that's going to start? I'm assuming you're going to play a two-man system if that's the case.
Yeah, it's still the same right now. I thought we did some good stuff. There's some things that if we would have executed better, I think that game wouldn't have been as close there it was in the fourth quarter. But we did have some chances this obviously during the open weekend as we're preparing to get work some of those kinks out. So we'll still use both guys as going forward right now. We worked hard during the open week to get one or two more ready that I feel like can really help us long term. They're not quite where they need to be yet, but they're making that progress. And we'll continue to take it game by game and who can give us the best chance to win that game and whatever the opponent's trying to do to us that can help us. And so we're working as a staff to try to make sure we sort of have, I don't want to say we have two different game plans, but really be able to put the guys out there and where they're comfortable and can execute some of the things we want them to.
Are you going to get the start?
Tyler will get the start, yes.
Coach, how important is it for you guys? Obviously, you have a great running game, but how important is it for you to be two-dimensional going forward as you play some of these other teams this season?
Well, I think it's very important. I think you have to be able to throw the ball to be successful. You don't have to throw it 100 times, but you got to be able. When you do it, you got to be effective with it. The other night, we weren't effective when we did it, and it puts you behind the 8 ball. But when you're effective, and you can, God bless you, when you're effective and can make the big plays. When you run the ball like that, you feel like we ran the ball pretty well. You should have big chances at some play action. We missed the ones that we had. You catch those, there's no telling what happens there. So we've got to be better there when we get those shots and making them happen.
Kind of for you, knowing the likes of the Alabamas and Auburns that have played on Legion Field, Saturday's game a little special considering the guys that have played there? Or?
For me, these guys probably have no clue about Legion Field. What it means, but some of them might. But if you're growing up in the South, especially in the SEC, that was the SEC championship game started there. There was always, Auburn, Alabama, Iron Bowl. All the big games Alabama used to play there. So for me, and I'm sure Coach Matthews and some of the other guys, that's a big deal. Now, I don't know how the stadium looks. It might be falling in, or it looks nice on video. But just from all the great players, all the great teams, the coaches have been through there, it's a pretty special deal. But they don't care about it, so we're not telling them. So it ain't on social media. They don't know.
You played 15 total freshmen. The first game was. Did you go into the season thinking you were going to play that many, and why did you end up playing that many in the end?
You know what? Our philosophy is that we're going to play the best guys. And as you go through fall camp and went through there, we felt like those guys are people that we can count on that can contribute to us. Some of them started, some of them played, some have role plays, but were role players. But as you look at it long term throughout the season, we know as those guys get better that they're going to be able to contribute to us in a big way going forward. And so we wanted to throw them in the fire right away and let them get the first taste of it so they can start getting some of that experience. And that's sort of how it wasn't. We don't plan on who's playing, who's not, but you let those guys compete as much as they can, and you see who has the. Typically, freshmen play. If they don't play, it's because physically they're not ready or mentally they're not ready. And these guys that are playing obviously have some physical ability, but they've really been able to pick up the mental aspect of football, and that's the biggest challenge. We got some freshmen right now that are really talented and aren't on the field because they're just struggling to figure it out right now. The difference in practice, the difference in going to class, and all the different things. And so, but these 15 are guys that have been able to figure that out early.
Coach, going up against a rushing attacks averaging 300 yards a game. Your guys did a great job against UMass, having under 100. What are some of the things you talked about the kids about this week heading into this game when they're both rushing attacks?
Well, they do a good job of playing fast and lining up and sort of getting you out of, for a defensive term, out of gap a little bit. So we got to do a great job of being lining up. I think we do have a good matchup in the box. I think our D-line and our linebackers match up well against their front. But where they've been gashing people is they line up fast and they run some zone read and some things, and people don't align right or miss it, and they got some backs that can go. So we have been obviously prepping and doing some different things alignment-wise, some different maybe run stunts that'll help try to slow that down. Are we going to hold them under 100? I don't know. I hope so, but I do think that we can match up and make them where you want to make anybody. You want to make them one-dimensional, And if you can make them one-dimensional and you're stopping that rush and then make them throw, then we like our chances with some of the things. But big challenge, obviously, because UMass, they ran the ball but basically stopped running it. you know, UAB is going to keep running it, and so they're going to keep trying to pound it. We got to be ready for that. Thankfully, we see that in practice quite a bit too, though, so that's good.
We focused a lot on different fronts. We wasn't really we really didn't have an understanding of what defense they might come and tag us with, because our offense is so different and unique, and they have been disbanded for 2 years. So we just practiced all the 40 fronts, 30 fronts, 50 fronts, just to get a feel of everything.
What's it like going up against the program that got rid of football, now they have it back this year? Is it kind of different knowing that their program now is, I'll say, like similar to yours, but also kind of like that they're back now, and it's, you guys have a young program as well too?
It's definitely a unique one. You know, we had a teammate named Danny Anuche. He came from UAB, and he was explaining everything, how it went down. He was like, wow, that's crazy. And to actually play against him is even more crazy. So it's very unique.
It's interesting seeing how they brought their program back. You know, I've met a few of the players from the team who lost their program, so being able to go down there and play against a team like that, it's real unique. It'll be an interesting game with us being an FBS school and them having been FBS and bringing their program back. It should be real interesting. As far as the defensive standpoint, we've gone back to the basics. You know, defense, it's pretty much the same thing every game. UAB has a unique offense, and so the tackling, the staying in deep coverage, those little things like that, paying attention to the details is really going to give us that competitive advantage going into Saturday.
How did the storm affect you guys with preparation? Because I know you guys weren't at school, but how did that work out with you guys practicing, and then of course the students not being here and so on and so forth?
The storm didn't affect us too much. You know, one thing we stress a lot here is adapting and adjusting, and we did that real well. Getting a lot of our players actually live in South Carolina, and the ones who were here that had to move off campus, they usually roomed up, teamed up with a teammate, and so that was able to get us in a little extra practice and really be able to focus on what we had to accomplish this week, and we've done a great job of doing that.
Do you expect any rust? I know you guys had a bye week last week, kind of unusual in week 2. Any rust, or you think kind of smooth sailing going into Birmingham?
Probably not any rust. We do a real good job around here about rest and recovery. You know, our coaches do a good job of taking care of us. So stretching was something really we stressed this week, you know, staying fresh, eating healthy. Even with campus closing, you know, they talked to us about, you know, treating your body like a machine. We've taken a lot of great pride in that this week, and at practice today we looked excellent, and so there shouldn't be any rest going into Saturday.
Week 1 was amazing. You know, we had a plan and we stick to it. We said we had a goal of 30 knockdowns as a full offense, and we reached our goal. From an offensive line standpoint, Coach Cove preaches on being physical. So this week they're a lot bigger, but that's nothing to us. We're going to be physical and we're going to be ready to go.
Well, with Osh getting the offensive player of the week, kind of what does it mean to you and the offensive line also to kind of help them get there?
That's what we strive for. We want our running backs to get player of the week, because we know if they get player of the week, then we're doing our job. You know, Osh had $150, I think it was, and 2 touchdowns. That's excellent. We want the other running backs as well to get the same stats as him. So if we got 2 or 3 getting 150, then we know we had a great game.
What's the excitement level for you guys going on the road? Obviously, you got a home game under your belt. You guys played well, but what's the feeling like, the atmosphere like going on the road?
It's really exciting. FBS, you can ask any student athlete across the country. That's exciting. We get to play in a big stadium. We get to play against a new team, Under Armour now, all of that. You should look forward to that. And so being able to be on the field, that just adds to the experience. You know, we got a lot we're playing for this year. You know, seniors to go out with a big bang, you know, giving the young guys something to look forward to. So it's a lot of excitement in the locker room.
Same for you, Rodney. What's it like going on the road, big stadium like that, and just another big game under your guys' belts?
We're just eager to get out there. You know, we had this bye week and we're just itching. You know, we're ready for it. We're ready for this week, especially playing in a legendary field, as far as Legion Field. And it's just a lot of excitement and just tired of waiting. Yeah, we don't want to be one-dimensional. It's nice to have a passing game. Like I said, our main priority is to run, but when we have a big play going downfield with a pass, it's even better. You know, we want our guys like Christian, Omar, and Malcolm to get their opportunity as well, because they block their tails off for our running backs. So it's very important to get them involved. So hopefully we can get some downfield plays this week.
Rodney, UAB had released a report they had 40,000 plus at their first game. Do you think crowd is going to be a factor at all? How is that going to affect, especially like the offensive line, things like that?
We got to adapt and adjust. You know, 40,000 is a big crowd, and like I said, it's an excitement level to play in a big crowd. So we just got to stay tuned and focused and make sure we look at our keys and be on point.
I'm going off that with a tough test on the road Saturday. How do you think that guys will help y'all prepare for the rest of the year?
Repeat that, please.
With the tough test coming up Saturday on the road, how do you think that game will help y'all prepare for the rest of the year?
I feel like this is a challenge, and it's our first really road FBS game since we've been here, and it's definitely a building stone. We're definitely going to take care of business, and we're going to make sure that we can come back to Coastal happy and proud, something that this town can be proud of. Because this is the first ever road FBS win possibility. So we got to do our job.
And that's what we're going to build our foundation off of here. You know, whether it's one person in the stands or 40,000, we're going to go out there and play Coastal Carolina football. You know, and that's what we do really good. You know, we're going to make the grandstand proud. And we take great pride in that here.